Have you ever felt trapped? Not by an obvious enemy, not by a snarling wolf you can see coming from a mile away, but by someone who claims to be your savior. Imagine a violent storm, waves crashing against the shore, and you're lost at sea. Then, a single, brilliant beam of light cuts through the darkness. It's a lighthouse, guiding you to safety. You trust it. You follow it. But what if that lighthouse wasn't guiding you to a safe harbor? What if it was luring you onto the rocks? This is the world of the covert manipulator, the one who doesn't wear the predator's teeth, but the nurse's comforting smile. They don't attack you, they rescue you, and in that rescue, they bind you. Today, we're not just going to talk about this, we are going to deconstruct it, piece by piece, so you can see the gears turning behind the curtain. We're going to break the illusion of the saint. To understand how this works, we need to talk about an evolutionary glitch in our own brains. It's a battle between two powerful chemicals, cortisol and oxytocin. Cortisol is your alarm system. It's the stress hormone that floods your body when you sense danger. That wolf I mentioned, it screams fight or flight. But oxytocin, that's different. That's the bonding hormone, the cuddle chemical. It's released when you feel trust, connection, and safety. It tells you, this person is one of us. You're safe here. Now, here's the hack. The master manipulator, this so-called saint, is a neuro-hacker. They don't just stumble into this, they orchestrate it. They create the storm. They manufacture a crisis, a problem, a threat real or imagined which spikes your cortisol. You're suddenly stressed, anxious, and looking for an anchor. And then, like a perfectly timed performance, they appear with the solution. They offer comfort, support, a listening ear. And just like that, they trigger a flood of oxytocin in your brain. You see the trick. They create the stress, then they provide the relief. This forges an incredibly powerful, almost addictive, bond. Your brain learns to associate them with the feeling of safety, even though they were the source of the danger in the first place. You feel deeply grateful, indebted even, to the person who set the fire and then handed you the water bucket. It's a devastatingly effective loop of stress and reward, and it makes you dependent on them. Let's make this more concrete by looking at 3 common archetypes you might encounter. First, there's the corporate martyr. You know this person. They're always the last one to leave the office. They take on impossible workloads, sighing about how no one else can handle it. Then, when a project is about to collapse under the weight they themselves created, they swoop in, work all weekend, and save the day. They complain about their sacrifice, but they bask in the glory. They aren't just saving a project, they are making you, the manager, the team, dependent on their heroism. They become untouchable, because what would we do without them? The price. Your team's autonomy and your own authority are slowly eroded. Next, we have the social surgeon. This is the friend who is always in the middle of some drama, but never their drama. They come to you with concerns about your other friends. I'm just worried about Sarah. They'll whisper, she said something about you that sounded off. I'm telling you this because I care about you. They skillfully cut and paste information, creating friction between people. They position themselves as the trustworthy confidant, the central hub of information, the only one who truly has your back. They perform social surgery, cutting people out of your life, isolating you, until they are the only one left. They create the social illness, then present themselves as the cure. Finally, and perhaps the most insidious, is the medical shadow. This archetype preys on your health anxieties. It could be a family member or a partner who becomes overly involved in your medical care. They research your symptoms obsessively, speak for you at doctor's appointments, and manage your medications. They create an environment where you feel fragile, incapable, and utterly dependent on their care. They might even subtly discourage you from getting better, because your recovery means their role as a caregiver, their source of control and importance disappears. They become a shadow that follows your illness, feeding off it while claiming to fight it. So how do they do it? What's in their toolkit? These aren't clumsy operators. Their methods are subtle and designed for deniability. One of their favorite tools is selective leaking. They'll share a piece of information, but leave out crucial context to shape your perception. Imagine them saying, John missed his deadline again, but failing to mention that you had approved an extension for him. They plant a seed of doubt, making John look unreliable and making themselves look vigilant. Another powerful tool is weaponized concern. This is the classic, I'm only saying this because I love you, followed by a cutting criticism of your partner, your job, or your life choices. The concern is a shield they use to deflect any accusation of malice. How can you get angry at someone who is just trying to help? They frame their control as care, their criticism as constructive advice, making it incredibly difficult to push back without looking ungrateful. And then there's the masterstroke, gaslighting by proxy. Instead of telling you you're crazy themselves, they use other people to do it for them. They'll go to your mutual friends and say, "I'm so worried about you. You seem really stressed and aren't thinking clearly lately." Then, those friends, with the best of intentions, will come to you and say, "Hey, are you okay? You seem a bit on edge." After hearing this from multiple people, you start to question your own sanity. The manipulator's hands are clean. They never called you crazy directly. They just engineered a chorus of voices to do it for them. This brings us to the devastating consequence of getting caught in this web. The price of rescue. When someone saves you repeatedly, whether from a social mishap, a work crisis, or a personal struggle, you accrue what I call a life debt. It's an unspoken, unpayable debt of gratitude. How do you repay someone who saved your career, your reputation, your very well-being? You can't, and they know it. This life debt is the chain they use to control you. Any attempt you make to assert your independence, to disagree with them, or to set a boundary is met with a reminder of that debt. It might be a guilt trip. After all I've done for you, this is how you treat me? Or it might be more subtle, a disappointed sigh that makes you feel like a terrible, ungrateful person. The result is the same, the slow, systematic erosion of your own agency. You stop making decisions for yourself because you're afraid of upsetting your savior. Your life is no longer your own. You are living in the shadow of their goodness, a goodness that has become your prison. So, how do you escape? It's not about a dramatic confrontation. Remember, they thrive on drama. A big fight just gives them a new storm to navigate, a new crisis where they can play the hero or the victim. No, the escape must be quiet, strategic, and deliberate. This is the extraction protocol. The first step is to become a gray rock. A gray rock is boring. It's uninteresting. It doesn't react. When the manipulator tries to provoke you, to share gossip, or to create a crisis, you give them nothing. Short, unenthusiastic responses. "Okay, I see. I'll think about it." You don't offer them emotional fuel. An engine can't run without gas, and a manipulator can't operate without your emotional reactions. Starve them of it, and their power over you begins to wither. Second, create a paper trail. Remember, their power lies in the unspoken, in deniability. You must counter this with facts. After a conversation where they make a vague promise or a confusing demand, send a follow-up email. "Just to confirm our chat, you said you would handle X by Y date. Is that correct?" This moves the conversation from the shadows into the light. It creates a record. This is especially crucial in a professional setting. They can't gaslight you about what was said when it's written in black and white. Third, and most critical, is the 6-month social audit. Take a hard look at the people in your life. For every significant relationship, ask yourself, do I feel more or less capable after interacting with this person? Do I feel energized or drained? Do I feel more or less like myself? Be brutally honest. An accountant audits finances to find where the money is going. You must audit your social life to find where your energy, your confidence, and your agency are going. If someone consistently leaves you feeling smaller, confused, or dependent, you need to strategically and gradually reduce your investment in that relationship. This isn't about blaming or seeking revenge. This is about reclaiming your own mind, your own life. It's about understanding that a true saint, a real helper, empowers you. They give you the tools to save yourself, and then they step back. They want you to become your own lighthouse. Anyone who insists on being your permanent rescuer isn't saving you. They're building a cage. The illusion of the saint is powerful because it preys on our best instincts, our capacity for trust and our need for connection. But by understanding the mechanics, by recognizing the archetypes, and by deploying a clear extraction protocol, you can break the loop. You can step out of the storm they created and find your own shore, guided by your own light. You are not a victim to be rescued. You are the hero of your own story, and it's time to take back the pen. Thank you for going on this deep dive with me. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. Follow for more content on reclaiming your personal power. Stay sharp and stay free.